Yarukeekuro Ndorokaze is a journalist and member of the Harero community, more widely known as the Harero. He joins us now from Windhoek. Yarukeekuro, how do you feel about this decision by Germany?
Well, it's probably something new for the Germans, but for us, it's nothing new. We have all along known their deeds, their evil deeds as genocide. We have always maintained that it has been genocide. So maybe it has taken them time, the Germans that is, to recognize that what they had perpetrated in Namibia at the turn of the 20th century was indeed genocide. So for them admitting and acknowledging that it was indeed genocide, it's nothing new to us, probably something new to the Germans.
How do you feel about the reparations? Do you think that this goes far enough? Are you satisfied with it?
It doesn't even begin to make up for it. Remember, this was a three-pronged approach. Initially, it was to recognize that the deeds committed against the Harero and the Namas were genocide. And that's probably the first step that we have now crossed. The next step would be the apology. And what kind of apology are we looking at? We're looking at an apology that's unequivocal, unreserved, and unambiguous. So we're hoping to see, we are waiting to see what kind of apology would it be that they would bring and give to the Harero and the Nama people that they have committed genocide against. Then would be the third point, which should be reparation. You repair a community because of what you would have done. And the unfortunate part of it is that when you look at the document that has been released and the reports that are coming, is that Germany wants to have nothing to do with the reparations. And if reparations is not the issue, then we probably talking about the same thing, because what they are talking about, supporting projects for infrastructure development and whatnot, is not what the genocide claim is all about. Genocide claim is very much rooted within reparations. So as long as there is no reparation to talk about, then we are probably not talking about the same thing. As communities that have been affected by that, what we are interested in is a conversation around reparations.
You talked about how this is probably new for Germany, but the genocide took place over 100 years ago. Why do you think it took so long for Germany to acknowledge it and recognize it and apologize?
Exactly the question. If they were really sincere about this and genuine about this, it would have probably not taken them this long. One would have expected that at the end of the Second World War, they would have owned up to what they have committed previously and led the way, at the very least. At the attainment of Namibia's independence in 1990, now that Namibia had become a sovereign state, one determining its own destiny, you would have expected the German government to lead the way and remind itself of what it has done previously, and then lead the way and talk about. And when you're leading the way, it's not for you to determine as to what it is that they are going to do, but you would say, this is how I have wronged you. What do I do? How do I repay you to ensure that you are restored to whatever stage in life and social well-being and community wealth you would have attained by this period? What is it that I can do to repay you? That's how the conversation begins. The conversation does not begin with you telling the person that you have wronged that this is what I'm going to do because I feel this is what is just. It's for the other person to determine, to say, because of the harm and the damage and the prejudice that you have caused me, this is what you can do to bring me anywhere close to where I should have been had it not been because of the deeds that you have done. But this conversation is not going that way. Therefore, it's an unfortunate one. In my own personal capacity, I believe this is long before we even reach the end of it. Maybe it's a significant move that they have accepted that what they have committed is genocide. And there is a qualification that they are trying to advance, is to say, in present-day context, it is genocide. It has been genocide. It was genocide so many years ago. It is genocide today. It will be genocide so many years from today.
The German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier is expected to travel to Namibia to apologize in person. Do you see that as significant and as a sincere move? And what does it change, if anything?
If the apology is unequivocal, not qualified, unambiguous, unreserved, it's an apology and a genuine one that says, this is what we have done to your communities, and for that, we're really sorry for this. If that is the kind of apology that we are talking about, and one that accepts that it is genocide, it has been genocide, it will probably be an apology that will be accepted. But that's just the second stage in the three-pronged approach that I'm talking about. And for as long as there is no conversation around reparations, this whole thing is so empty. It's a hollow approach. It's probably a public relations approach from the German side, but from the affected community, for as long as we are not talking about reparation. And one, as far as what is the appropriate compensation, one that is determined by the affected community, then the end is definitely not in sight.
All right, Yarukeekuro Ndorokaze, thank you so much.